Hello, GovCon winners, and welcome back to my channel. Something has come up recently in my DMs on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, even via email, and TikTok. I get DMs into TikTok too, asking, hey, I really want to know more about this middleman approach. Could you help me? Or I'm interested in government contracting. I don't really know what I want to sell, but I want to practice the middleman approach. So there's a lot of talk around middleman approach. So I would like to really dig deeper into this as someone who has over 10 years of federal government contracting experience. Let's take a look. Before I do, you have to ask yourself, what business model do you want as an entrepreneur? Because whether it's a middleman approach, whether you're hustling something on Upwork or Fiverr, you're still an entrepreneur, period. The objective is you provide something for $1, you get back 32. That's the goal. So when it comes to this middleman approach, just think about that. I want you to really think about a business model that makes sense for you, or a business model that you kind of maybe admire or comes to mind. So in essence, this kind of notion of the middleman is you have a party that desires something, you have a party that can provide something, and you have this middle person who is able to put the two parties together so that they can mutually beneficially benefit from that connection. So in terms of the federal government, the middleman approach would work something like this. There's an opportunity for portable showers, and you're like, hey, I could find portable showers in Utah. So then you look for firms who offer portable showers. You're like, awesome. So you've been on the portable showers because you received pricing from the portable shower people. You include a profit, you bid, let's say you win the work, awesome. So you turn it over to the portable shower people, they're off doing their thing, you invoice and pay out the portable shower people. It also works the same for services involving people. For example, my flagship company was asked to provide training around making webinars and live training more engaging. So there's a particular person we had in mind to provide that training. So connected with that particular person, found out how much they would charge, provided that information to the government. This is a client we already had, so we didn't have to respond with a proposal, provided her bio, provide more information about her. We agreed upon a number, we provided her rate and took the profits from it. So again, you have a government agency who needs something, you have people or products that are out there and available for them, and you as the middle person, you're bringing them together. You are bridging that gap. So let's take a step back. While in theory, this sounds amazing because you're bringing parties together, you're adding on some type of profit, and at the end of the day, both of you are benefiting. Because there are many out there who don't even realize that they could provide a product or service to the government. Graphic design, portable showers, portables, painters, roofers, trainers, cybersecurity, people who check ID, people who print IDs. There's so many different needs from the end of the federal government side that there's also this endless supply of different vendors who you could partner with and provide those services to the federal government as that middle person, right? So then you have to ask yourself, if this middleman approach is so successful and lucrative, then is IBM doing this? Is Lockheed Martin doing this? Is Google doing this? Is Amazon doing this? Is Boeing doing this? I don't really know the answer to that. But here's what I do know. Many of the bigger companies, what they will do is they will partner with a smaller firm. So for instance, there was an opportunity with IBM where they needed a bunch of IT positions. So they asked my flagship company for pricing for those IT positions. So in essence, we would have been the middle person providing the IT people to fulfill a contract that IBM was bidding on or a contract that they had. So this does happen, and it definitely can be very lucrative, especially in the staffing realm. Because going back to my initial question, what type of business model do you want, do you desire, do you think of? One of the most lucrative in the federal government is staffing, because you have continuous revenue, typically over the course of 5 years. So when it comes to business, you want to always have cash flow coming in every single month, be it from staffing, be it from maybe you have 100 portable shower contracts, maybe you have 50 road paving contracts, 17 moving contracts. The point is, often in this space, you have contracts that are what I call a one and done. You provided the portable showers, you've invoiced, it's over. Where with staffing, it's often for multiple years. So let's go back and kind of place into all of this the whole middleman notion. Is this something that larger companies do? Yes. Is this something that you could do? Yes. Is there money to be made? Yes. At the same time, there are things that you have to think about, and that is the business model. If you're applying this approach to these one and dones, you're going to have to look to see how many of these one and dones are you going to need? How many portable showers? How many porta potties? How many roofers? How many, trainers are you going to need? Even with the example I provided, that was a one-time opportunity. I believe it was for 3 sessions, and that was it. The majority of the revenues that come from that client, staffing. So then you also have to ask yourself, could you take this notion of middleman and apply it to staffing? Of course, companies do it all the time. I just provided the example of IBM. It's very common. So if you're going to go this approach, you have to ask yourself, what kind of entrepreneur do you want to be? You could just provide a few and partake in some of these one and dones every month and make an amazing amount of money. There's no reason you couldn't make anywhere from 10,000 to hundreds of thousands. You could also take more of the staffing approach in this middleman scenario, where you would definitely, bring in greater revenues, because we're talking more about you are able to further grow this because you're staffing, right? So you could quickly bring on a ton of people under different staffing contracts. The other opportunity is sometimes the middleman acts in both positions as the person providing it, and they're the middleman. So here's what I mean. So there have been times where we partnered with an agency and they wanted an IT expert. So that IT expert provided expertise, but they also owned a company and they were making revenues off of the people from their company that they also had working on the work for that agency. So kind of, I don't know if you call it double man or middleman squared. I don't know what you call that. Entrepreneur, I don't know. But either way, there's a ton of different scenarios and approaches you can take with this middleman. I do want to offer this as a warning here, though, y'all. I got to smooth out my eyebrows thinking about this one and fluff up my hair a little more, because this is where the middleman square can sometimes tumble. And that is, depending on how you position these relationships in your proposals or in your conversations with existing clients, the government agency may think, why are we working with them? Why don't we just go directly to the portable shower company? Why are we bringing on Kizzy when we could go directly to the woman who's providing the training? So we gave the contract to Julia's company, but Roberto's company, the subcontractor, basically they're doing all the work. Now, some of you may already be thinking, but wait a minute, you have to do 51%, and I got all of that, right? I'm speaking from things that really happen, right? Just my experience, right or wrong, I'm just sharing. And often that's the mindset of the federal government. That's why government mindset is so vital in this space. And so what will happen, I've seen this happen because I have been on both sides of this, where it benefited me and also where I lost work. Because they start to ask themselves, well, if Kizzy's doing all the work, why don't we just give the contract to Kizzy, to her flagship company? Then there are times where they were like, well, if Diana is providing all the training, why don't we just give Diana a contract? So in these type of scenarios, You have to be very careful about how you present yourself, because sometimes this middleman approach is presented as you bring the parties together, you get your profit, bam, moving on to the next one. Yeah, and what value did you offer? Because you responded to the opportunity? Okay, but there's still client relations. You still need to check in with the agency. You need to check in with the provider or the manufacturer. You need to make sure everyone is happy and taken care of. You need to make sure you have in place all of your documents. Go to gcwdocs.co to take a look. There's some free things there for you. You need to make sure you have your policies in place. You need to make sure you have your payment systems in place, your invoicing, your purchase orders, as well as accounts receivable, so you know how and who and what's needed when it comes to invoicing the federal government. So on the surface, I'm bringing two people together. I'm making that money. In reality, there's a lot more that goes into it. So going back to the example where we staffed a trainer for our existing client, provided that training, several of my team members were involved because those team members have the relationship with the agency. So that's their time. There were dry runs. That's their time. Someone from my team had to submit an invoice. That's their time. So you're seeing how there's additional time built in depending, right? What if something goes wrong with the portable showers? You're the one with the contract. What if something went wrong with the training? It didn't. I'm the owner of the company, right? So these are all great approaches. I've been involved, am involved in these type of approaches, but I just want you to have all of the different nuggets that go into it, because what's really vital to making this happen is me, showing the value to both the agency as well as to the company we brought to the dance. You must be able to keep showing your value, because what's going to eventually also happen is the flip side. The company that you're starting to expose or you're partnering with may think, well, goodness, he or she's got this 8A thing, or he or she is service disabled. Well, I've served, or I could get an 8A. I didn't serve. I'm just using examples, y'all. Don't come for me. So they may think, well, if I'm doing all the work, I don't need this middle person. I can just start my own company and win the contracts on my own. I have seen that happen many times. I have this place and this love and this spirit of abundance. So I'm like, do it. But at the same time, I have my documents in place, gcwdocs.co, so that my team members aren't trying to poach existing clients, because you also have to protect what you have. That's the other key piece: policies, procedures, paperwork, client relations, poaching. And it happens, had it happen where someone took a client with them, had it happen where someone started a business because they basically thought, hey, what you do is nothing special, I can do it too. Awesome, great, I wish you nothing but the best, right? So it's very important as you go on this middleman approach that you just take in consideration not only the business model, but everything that really goes into this, because you don't want to be burned. There is a reason IBM practices this, because they know that they can save money by partnering with a smaller business and have that business put in all the time, energy, and resources where they wouldn't have to. And you're doing all the work because you're the middle person. So there's an amazing payoff. It's an amazing space, but at the same time, be aware of the alternative. I love you all. You're amazing. Please follow, subscribe, click the notification. Also, don't forget, everything is possible.